All right, well, today is a red day recap. It's Tuesday. Markets are closed tomorrow for Juneteenth. So we've got a market holiday in the middle of the week. And we're also going to have a market holiday in a couple weeks on the 4th of July. It'll be on a Thursday. And then typically when you have a holiday on a Thursday, that Friday is slow. So here we have a holiday on a Wednesday. I don't think it means Thursday and Friday are necessarily going to be slow, but it definitely breaks up the week. So green yesterday and then a red day today. We're going to break it down in today's recap. I'm going to go over the trades. But what I can say is that this was a day where I definitely felt frustrated. I got myself in the green today. In fact, I got myself up over $1,000. I hit that first milestone, which means I can increase my share size, start to get a little more aggressive, and then I flushed into the red. I ended up bouncing out of the red back into the green. I was like, okay, here we go. I'm back in the driver's seat and then back in the red again. So after the second time going in the red, I tried to recoup losses, and I just got to a point where we ran out of time. This is kind of the thing with trading, is that there's a window each day where I know that I perform the best. And when we get to the end of that window, it's like, all right, you know what? My odds at this point of having a nice trade are getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And in fact, what's likely going to happen is I'm going to take too much risk on a stock popping up on the scanners, and I'm going to flush deep into the red. And just like that, I'm going to knock myself out, max loss on the day. And I said, I don't want that to happen today. So today, while it's a red day, it is a successful red day for the following reasons. I didn't hit my max loss. That's always great. Now, I could hit my max loss, and technically I could call it a successful red day, because my bigger measurement of success on a red day is whether or not I have the discipline to follow my rules, and if I'm able to prevent a spiral. So let's jump onto the whiteboard here and talk about spiraling for a second. You guys know what I'm talking about. It's when you start the day, of course, we all start the day, whatever, plus or minus at zero, more or less, right? We're break even on the day. So, you go into the green, you go into the red, you go back into the green, back into the red, and then you just start going like this. It's like deeper and deeper. You try to recover and you just go further and further into the red, and maybe your max loss is here, and you just keep trading past it. You just go deeper and deeper and deeper. So fortunately, I was able to prevent that from happening today. Let's go ahead and jump into the charts here, and I'll start to break down my trades. I began my day, first trade of the day, on MLGO. I sat down early this morning, and I guess one thing that I noted right away was we still had MBIO from yesterday in play. So I thought, all right, we're probably going to have some people paying attention to this stock. Yesterday, it put in a 500% move. I mean, it's huge. This thing goes from 13 cents a share all the way up to $1.30, right? Pre-market high of $1.30. So the fact that it squeezed up at 4 a.m. here, it pulls back, sells off. As you can see, it came back up to a double top there. Has not been able to yet break that 130 level. I'm not sure if it will. Still time in the day, but it's showing some weakness here. In any case, the fact that this was gapping up again and was on the scans, I just sort of felt like, all right, that's going to be a little bit of a distraction. So each morning, bright and early, same routine as always, I sit down and I look at my top gainers scanner. So where is it? Oh, it's over here. So my top gainer scanner this morning was showing, now let's see if I actually have if it's still on my phone from pre-market. No, I actually closed it out. Okay, so anyways, nonetheless, I don't think RELI was the leading gapper yet. I'm trying to remember what was the leading gapper this morning. It might have been NLSP. Let's look at this one. This one gapped up, and yeah, it started moving. This was, I think, the leading gapper. It started after hours and then continued pre-market. So I think this one was the leading gapper, but under 50 cents. It's a cheap stock. Yesterday it was at like 7 cents a share. So it's a big percentage move, but not the type of stock I would typically trade. Then we had RELI. Okay, so RELI pops up. This one, as you can see, big percentage change today. It's a big mover. Went from 20 cents all the way up to $1.10. Very similar to MBIO from yesterday. Yeah, MBIO. But the first trade I took was on MLGO. All right, so let's pull that chart up. So MLGO, when this first came up, I was a bit apprehensive about it. And the reason is because this is a stock that made a big move back here. This was like 2 weeks ago. Makes a huge move, but then it sold off and gave up all of the gains. We had our first daily candle to make a new high right here. That was on this day. So we had that pop, but then it gave back those gains and pulled back as well. In fact, that day right there is a gravestone doji. So the flat bottom there and that topping tail, gravestone doji, showing a lot of weakness. So when I saw it on the scans this morning, I was like, I don't know, MLGO, I'm not sure if this is going to work. So it's going sideways here, and then kind of out of nowhere, it rips up to 5 and to 550. I got in at 548. I got in on this micro pullback right here at 548, and it squeezes up to 560. It goes up to 570, 580, all the way up to $6. All right, so let's jump onto the 10-second chart on this so I can really get dialed in and show you my trade. So this is actually, will bring up an interesting topic about when to take profits. So on this one, I took my entry right, let's see, it was right here. All right, so I got in right here. The squeeze is up to 50. It dips down, and I think I actually added my first position actually right here at 48 and added at 50. This was at 8:14 a.m. Yep, so 8:14 a.m. That was where I added. It pops up to a high of 62, and it hits then a high of 68, and I take some profit off the table. 15 cents a share. That's not a bad trade. So I take some profit off the table. I'm up $500, 400, 500 on that first trade. Then I get back in at 74. So I get back in right here as it breaks through 70. I get filled at 74, a little high. I bought 2,500 shares on that position. It goes up to 590, and I take some profit off the table right up here. It then pulls back again, and right in here, I got another trade. Now I'm in for the break of 6. We squeeze up to 610, 611. I take a little profit and I get out. Then right here, it starts to pull back. And I'm thinking, all right, this is a dip trade. I'm going to look to buy the dip at 6. So I get back in at 5. I get back in first actually at 624, which was at high a day. I was looking for the breakthrough 625. I thought we were going to go parabolic. It ends up flushing here and I lost $500. So I go from up $1,000 on it to up 500, gave back half. Then it dips down here and I added right here thinking that we were going to pop right back up over 6. And I caught this candle right here all the way down to 550. And I lost like $1,500 on that trade. So that put me down $932 on MLGO. And now you could say, well, geez, you really overstayed your welcome. So how could I have known that I was overstaying my welcome here? Well, if you look at the 1-minute chart, we'll notice right here, nice move up. First pullback, good. Second pullback, that's fine. Third pullback. We know third pullbacks are a little riskier. MACD hadn't yet crossed over. So, we were still holding. We did have nice increasing volume, which was solid. I think one of the bigger risks on this was that we didn't have a fresh catalyst. Looking at the daily chart right around 6, were we running into a specific level? I didn't notice it before, but maybe I'll check now. Kind of. You had this pop back here, which went up to, oh gosh, very close, 630. And I didn't actually look at that until just now. So, kind of went right into that resistance level there. So, maybe didn't pull the chart open enough to see that. But that was really a shame. So definitely gave back some profit. And so in that moment, I went from green on the day to red. All right. So I go up $1,000 plus 1,000. That's my first goal on the day. Got myself up 1,000 to about 1,100 and then gave back half in one trade. And then went red on the second trade. Now I'm at minus 1,000. All right. So that's not how I wanted to start the day. And now I'm thinking, all right, I have to be very careful because what I don't want to have happen is the spiral. I need to keep a really tight leash on it. And I said to myself, this is actually one of the riskiest places, because if this is the place where I'm exposing myself in some ways to the most risk, because I've just gone from green to red. And now if I keep trading, I could very easily go deeper and deeper and deeper into the red. So, and on an MLGO, looking back on it, like I get in, I get out, right? I get back in, I get back out. I get back in, I get out. I get back in, I get out. I feel like I overtraded it a little bit, and I would have done better if I'd gotten in, held a little longer, and then, waited for maybe a more proper setup before buying back. So I just kind of fumbled that trade. Sold a little too soon, added back, and then, gave back some profit. So part of the reason I was selling quickly was because I wasn't totally confident with the stock, and I just felt like I needed to sort of build my cushion on it, but it ended up costing me. Okay, so I lost about $1,000 on that. Next trade is RELI. So RELI starts squeezing up, and honestly, I never trade, almost never, these low price stocks. But on this one, part of it might have been a little frustration. I was like, you know what? All right, if this is what's obvious, if this is what everyone's trading, I guess I'll join them. So this obviously had the volume. It was moving. So it met my criteria from all perspectives except for price. So I took my first trade on this at about 852. So finally broke the ice on it. And that was, let's see, right about, this is ridiculous. Let's see, 852 was right here. So I got in right here. All right, so we had this big move from 25 cents up to 35, 40 cents, 55 cents. We pulled back. I didn't trade it in this area. I was focusing on something else. Pulls back, pushes higher. Nice trade, a nice move. Pulls back, pushes higher, keeps going higher. Dips down here, and as it looked like it was going to get back above 70, I was like, okay, I'll take a trade here in at 70 cents. Bought 10,000 shares. So $7,000 position, not a big position dollar-wise, in 10,000 shares. It pops here up to about 73 cents. I was looking for the break of 75 cents and a move higher. Ends up coming back down, and I stop out. Okay, so I'm in with 1,000 shares, and I'm back out. First trade, $15 loss. So now I'm down $1,015, whatever. The problem, though, is that 10,000 shares times 0.003 is $30 to buy, plus there'll be another $30 to sell. Plus I'll have my individual commissions. So on this trade, I spent, let's see, 1, 2, 3, so about $63. It cost me $63 to take the trade. Plus, of course, I lost minus, $15 or whatever it was. So now I'm down, $78, right? $78 on this trade. And it's basically a break-even trade, but the fees and the commissions add to it. So now I'm starting to rack up some commissions on the day. All right, so RELI, first trade on it, red, not by a lot, but, red nonetheless. And actually, golly, I got a lot of executions on my exit, so it doesn't matter. But so then I got back in. It comes back up at 9 a.m. At 9 a.m. right here, it comes back up. Let's see, it was right here. So right here, it comes back up on this candle, and I got back in. I was like, okay, here we go. Looks like we're going to go, and then stopped out a second time. This second attempt, I bought 15,000 shares, a little more than the first time, and it dropped, and I ended up losing about 5 cents a share, down $750 on it. So now I'm sitting here. I've taken a couple of trades. My commissions on it are now, well, 78, and then the second trade was even more. So I'm at like $200 of fees and commissions, and I'm down $700 on the stock. So I'm really down $900. So now at this point, I'm down close to $1,900 on the day, minus $2,000. All right. So now I'm starting to feel like, okay, I'm unraveling. I'm getting frustrated. Things are just not going in the right direction for me. So lost on RELI. And then, and let me show you my P&L. So this is where I finished the day. Down $18.53. That's the total P&L. And you can see I'm green on 4 stocks and I'm red on 3. My winners in total, they're all small. I didn't have a single stock come up more than 400 bucks on. This is silly. This is ridiculous. And then I had a couple that I was red a little bit more on. And let's not forget that I'm going to have fees and commissions on all of these trades. So my fees and commissions today are probably about $1,000. And I only had $2,000 of fees and commissions on the month coming into today. So I just increased my commissions by 50% in one day by trading low price stocks. So the next stock that came up on the scans was NUWE. And I was like, well, NUWE, it's a cheap stock. I don't usually like these, but this is obviously what's moving. I jumped into it, 10,000 shares. I think it was around 28 cents. Goes up to a high of 31 cents. And I sold it, right? So didn't make much on that one. $356, a small winner on that. But nonetheless, you know, it's a step back in the right direction. So that was finally one of my first winners in, you know, a few minutes of trading. So finally got a green trade there. Next trade after NUWE was, let's see, going into MBIO. So MBIO, I bought 15,000 shares at $1.25. This was at the open kind of pre-market right here. Goes up to $1.30. Ended up taking my profit on it. It was a small winner, made, actually had profit on that trade, but then I got back in. I'll cover that trade in a few minutes. So next trade, CMTL. CMTL, this one, easy to borrow, higher flow. Don't typically like these, but again, was impressed at how well it was moving. So it finally breaks over $4 right here. I took a small position on it and made 330 bucks. Okay, small base hit, nothing to be that excited about. Then I did get a trade on RELI at 89 cents. This was a pretty clean trade. This one was about 10 a.m. So RELI, we'll go back here, 10 a.m. Let's see. So right here, we halted up. We opened and dipped. I got in immediately, 89 cents. We pop up to $1, a little higher. So that recouped the 700 I had lost on the first trade and put me up 400 on the stock. RELI is up right now 220%, but I'm only up 400 bucks on it. So there was that trade. And then let's see. I had a couple more trades on RELI, but none of them were significant winners. They were kind of like getting in, getting out for 1 cent wins. Meds hits the scanners. And this was a stock that, you know, I felt like it had the potential to make a nice move. On the daily chart, I was looking at the fact that above this 1075 level, it had a lot of room. So as it popped up here on this candle, I jumped in and ended up losing 500 bucks, as you can see. It popped up to 1127 and then reversed back down. So red 500. And that was the moment where I went from back to green to red. So got myself back. This is our 0 line here to green only by a little bit. And then, you know, flush back to red, down 500. I've ended up finishing the day with a couple of trades on, let's see. Let me look. So what was the last trade? Clear this out. Last trade was LRHC actually. A $386 winner on this. This one halted up, opened higher, pushed higher, and I took a trade right here for that move up to 92, which was decent, but again, it's like nothing that, I mean, I don't know. It just, today was a tough day and it ended up double topping here. MACD crosses over, tries to come back up, can't do it, sells off. So finishing the day down $18.53. So got myself back to right here, red day recap, but traded enough that my commissions are going to be close to $1,000 or somewhere around there. So back to a $1,000 red day. All right. Well, you know, at the end of the day, I guess it's not that bad. Certainly it's composed, kept it together, did not spiral. I did continue trading with larger share size, but that was because I was trading these cheap penny stocks. So I'm okay with that. It wouldn't have been okay if I was doing that on higher price stocks, but on the cheap stocks, it wasn't a problem. Meds was not a big position, so followed risk parameters, at least in terms of the amount of capital I was putting into these trades. But this was my general take from today. It was choppy. We didn't get anything with really big follow through. I mean, we had a couple of these penny stocks which made quick moves and then kind of rolled over. We had a couple of other stocks that squeezed, but it was like next leg up, continuation. We just didn't have a lot of it. Here's the thing. I think we had dispersed attention today. If we look at the volume in the market this morning, total volume right now, RELI, 327 million shares. But NLSP, that's got 276 million, and MBIO's got 200 million. So you've got, nearly 1 billion shares of volume between these top three, and it's spread between three different stocks. So here's the problem. You've got 1 billion shares of volume, right, potentially. If all of that was on one stock, that stock would have what? A huge amount of demand, right? So when you counter that with supply, more demand supply, you get this big move. But in today's market, what ended up happening was this volume was dispersed sort of equally among these three stocks. And they each had their same level of supply, but the demand was a third of what it would have been if there had only been one obvious stock today. Now, that's just the way the market was today. There wasn't one obvious one. There were three that were all so-so, and some traders who missed RELI were like, oh, well, I'll trade, MBIO instead, or I'll trade NLSP instead. But we didn't have one that was so strong, it just kind of gained all of the attention. Plus, we still have some attention focusing on GameStop. We had, yesterday, we had TRNR. We have some, small cap stocks that are priced above $1 a share. Let's see, volume on these ones that are a little higher priced. CMTL's got 60 million shares of volume. LRHC's got 45 million shares of volume. ASNS has got 38 million shares of volume. MLGO's got 24 million shares of volume. So these all have a lot of volume. We've got volume today, but it's scattered. It's spread across the market. And as a result, we're seeing choppier price action. So I kind of got to a point today where I was like, all right, let's be real for a second. Your average winners are like $400. I mean, granted, I did have a $1,000 winner on RELI, but my winners are relatively small in average. Let's just call it $350 average winners. My losers are, I had 4 decent sized losses, or 3 decent sized losses. This one, and then the first loss on RELI. So average losses today, probably 500, 600, right? 500, I guess. No, 600 maybe. I know it doesn't matter, but you could tell that I'm not really trading with a really solid profit loss ratio today. And that's where I kind of came to this realization that, you know what, if I keep trading, you know what's going to happen? One of these is going to go the wrong way and I'm going to lose $1,500 on it. I'm going to lose $2,000 on it. And now I'm going to be down $2,000 on the day plus $1,000 in fees and commissions. I'll be down $3,500, $4,000, just like that. It's going to happen so fast. So I just said, you know what? We're running out of time. The window's shrinking. And at this point, my next best chance of a good day, it's not going to be today. My next best chance of a good trade is not going to be today. It's going to be tomorrow. Well, market's closed tomorrow. Then it'll have to be Thursday. You can try to force it if you want to, but you're probably not going to be happy with the results. So today was a day where I just had to accept that I wasn't going to be able to finish in a really good spot. And it's better to finish with a relatively small red day than to get so fixated on today needing to be a green day, because today is just one tiny leg of a marathon that is my career as a trader. So, I mean, if you just figure, just think about the number of days. So I've been trading for more than 10 years, but let's just say 10 years. So 2014 to today. So that's 10 years of trading. 250 days of trading each year. So that's 2,500 trading days. Today's one day. One tiny day out of 2,500. Does it even matter? Now, I've been trading for longer than that, but just to keep the numbers easy. So it just, to me, feels like some days it's worth digging deep and really pushing harder and pushing yourself and stretching your limit and being aggressive. And other days, it's not. And today for me wasn't a day that it was worth pushing it. So I'm glad to be walking away here before I make any more mistakes. And I'll live to trade another day, and that's what counts. So again, markets are closed tomorrow, which is market holiday, middle of the week. So those of you guys who tune in every single day, we're going to be closed, but we'll be back at it on Thursday and Friday. We'll try to finish off the week strong. So hopeful that we have some better momentum going into the end of the week, but I shouldn't get my hopes too high because we're just in a cycle right now where penny stocks are the focus and attention is dispersed. So I just have to try to keep chipping away at base hits and locking up small green days and try to make the most that I can and make the most of this market here for June. And you know what? It's always the ebb and flow of trading. There'll be another hot momentum stock around the corner. So when that comes, rather than those profits digging out a hole that I dug when things were a little tricky, I'm hoping it's just going to add icing to the cake. So yeah, I'm down $1,000 right now off my all-time highs in my account, but that's not a big deal. I can make that back in, one good trade on Thursday, but it's just not going to happen today. So I just got to sit like this here until market opens Thursday morning. So thanks as always for tuning in. I hope you guys hit that thumbs up. Hope you're subscribed to the channel, and I'll see you for the next upload real soon.